So it's mixed aspen and pine. That's the habitat we're looking for chanterelles at this late in the season. Don't just start picking mushrooms, because next thing we know, I'm like, well, we don't want that, and we don't want these and that, and then we're just picking mushrooms for no reason. This is another type of russula. You're gonna see tons of different colors on the cap. Biggest feature is that the stem breaks like a piece of sidewalk chalk. The other thing is, gills are really fragile. Just break up. No veil. So there are edible types of russula. They're gonna have a bright, like a purple cap. This is gonna be similar and related distantly to porcini mushrooms. You can see how it's got pores on the bottom of it. It's also got these black scabers on the stem, is what those are called. So this is an edible mushroom, not choice edible, but at the same time edible. You can also see it's kind of bruising blue down here. So it's staining. Porcini will never stain. This is the most common look-alike to porcini. It's not as delicious as a porcini. And instead of doing this and slicing mushroom off, I just do that. Seems to like take off a little less of the mushroom. And then I cut the butt off. So that's fairly clean. Sometimes if the caps are really dirty on the top, we'll brush them off with a brush. That's pretty much all you're going for.
But see how close they are? Yeah. This has a darker brown, this has a red, kind of rusty, powdery top. So, edible, not tasty.
So when you go to pick that guy, twist it and rock it maybe a little bit first, and then twist. That is a porcini.
But you can see how this can be mistaken.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Remember I was mentioning there's an edible russula? It's right here. Beyond that, it's got this blush to the stem. It's kind of like a pinkish blush, off-white gills. The other thing is when you smell it, it smells like shrimp.
Oh yeah. The spruce tips are delicious, like using them to season sauces and stuff, and I will just go around and nibble on them, and they're extremely high in vitamin C. Really, really good in vitamin. And you can pretty much do that with any of the conifers, the young tips. They can be, you don't want to do too much of it because they can be a bit strong.
We got several different species here. Most are edible. The ones that aren't edible are like bright purple. Once mushrooms deteriorate, a lot of times they lose a lot of their identifying features, so they get really hard to differentiate. See, look how bright this false chanterelle is. See how it's almost too orange compared to the chanterelle.
Oh, get him. Now what is that one there? That is a porcini.
Oh, nice. Baby gets it on lunch right
Yeah, look at that brush.
This is where it's at. When I usually clean porcinis, I just take a brush, get it as clean as you possibly can before you put it in your bag. Because if this is rolling around on the rest of your mushrooms, then it's just going to get them dirty. Just try to get them as much of the surface dirt off, and then I'll take my knife and I'll go back through and just.
Oh, good. You don't have an age.
Of course, you'd have to slice this up to cook it. If you were trying to cook this whole, it wouldn't work out. But I mean, I would say this would cook down to a quarter of its weight or its size.
So it might be a little bit wormy. We don't know.
Wormy as in worms are inside?
Correct.
Wow.
So you can see it kind of gets kind of plain as they get older. Pores turn kind of greenish yellow from white.
Look at the top of that thing.
Doesn't it look like the muffin top?
Yeah, it does.
Here we are, lo and behold, we're finding porcinis, we're finding chanterelles, and we found mushrooms, and it was unbelievable. And guess what? Because of the late season of the Olathe corn and the Palisade peaches, we're still getting that too. So it's can't be beat.